Hello, and welcome to Living Local After Dark, everyone. Beltway Book Club edition. I am your host, Ellen Meny, and I am so excited for my guest today. We talk a lot with authors, but we have yet to talk with a bookseller or a bookstore owner, and I'm happy to introduce Laurie Gillman, the owner of East City Bookshop. Laurie, thank you so much for joining me.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
And the first bookstore owner, so
you are.
That's great.
You are, yes. Well, I was excited to have you on, and I love East City Bookshop in Capitol Hill. So it's fun to talk with writers, and it's also fun to talk to the people who make the writers' worlds go round. So talk about how East City Bookshop came to be.
Sure. That is it's a very personal story. It kind of came around a little bit because of a midlife, not crisis, but midlife change.
Inspiration, maybe? Change
of what I wanted to do with myself. I have lived on Capitol Hill since 1993.
Cool.
And we had an independent bookstore there, a small one, for a long time, had been there forever. And then it closed in 2009. And I thought, well, we have so many readers. Of course, someone's going to open a bookstore. And that didn't happen. And years went by, and more bookstores were closing. That was a low point for bookstores. Yeah. And when we opened in 2016, there were only 2 bookstores left in D.C.
Wow.
Kramer Books and Politics and Prose, the one location.
Yeah.
And even shortly after we opened, the Barnes & Noble downtown closed, the one in Georgetown had closed. So it was a very different landscape, and there were people who thought I was crazy. But the neighborhood was very excited. So it kind of started with a bang and really never slowed down much. And it was something that I wasn't a person who had always thought, oh, I just really want to open a bookstore. I really like to go to bookstores.
Yeah.
So that was more my reason. Because I have 3 kids raised in the neighborhood. We didn't have a local bookstore for a while, and I just kind of got obsessed with this idea and decided, well, no one's going to do this, so I'll go ahead and do it.
And here we are. I was going to say, there's a saying, I'm probably not going to get it quite right, but if something doesn't exist and you want it to exist, you have to do it yourself sometimes.
Exactly.
And happy 10th anniversary. Is
Thank
that right?
you. Yes. Actually on Independent Bookstore Day, which is the last Saturday in April, so just a month away.
Fantastic. When you started East City Bookshop, and as you said, DC at the time was like a book desert, a bookstore desert, which is wild to think now. I think we have a very vibrant community.
Yes.
Did you expect East City Bookshop to be celebrating its 10th anniversary in such a literary city now?
I don't think that I think I just tried to keep my expectations very vague.
Put the blinders on, maybe?
Yes,
yeah.
What are we going to do next month, next year?
Right.
I don't know that I really could imagine that we would have so many great bookstores in town 10 years later, that, some bookstores would have multiple locations, that now Barnes & Nobles would be reopening in places where they had closed, not only in D.C., but in the near suburbs. It's just been an explosion, and that can get a little bit worrisome as a business owner.
Fair,
Not that we don't want plenty of bookstores, but, you do think, how many bookstores can we support? I guess we'll find out.
Right.
But I will say that our business has only grown. And I think that's been true of everyone who's opened, as far as I know. So there really was a need for an independent bookstore community in the city.
Yeah. And speaking of which, why are independent bookstores important?
I think that they're community spaces, but they're community spaces that you don't have to commit to.
Right.
Like, you can really it can just be part of your neighborhood wandering, part of your on the way home from work on Tuesday. You drop in, you see the same faces a lot of the time, and feel comfortable, like it's your space. So it can be that, but it can also be a place where people discuss things, and you go to, really, if you go to an independent bookstore, at least definitely East City Bookshop, and someone wants to talk about the book they've just read or ask about a book, they can be there talking for as long as they want because
Right.
we love that. So I think usually there are spaces that can be used for community or rented out, or we have 14 book clubs, so that sort of forms communities within a community.
Yes.
So I think it's just that space that seems to be less and less available.
Mm-hmm.
That's just sort of there, and you don't have to pay to go. You don't have to join something.
Yeah.
And it's nice to have it in your neighborhood, which I think is key part of independent bookstores.
It is. I'm biased, but bookstores are very calming to me. I walk in it and, I enjoy the experience. And speaking of which, East City Bookshop, I always appreciate your guys' selection of books. And this is something I have been wondering, but I'm sure viewers wonder as well. How does an independent bookstore choose what to stock?
It's kind of an art. I mean, you can imagine it is. It's actually not something I do.
Okay. Yes.
I early on, again, going into this, learning as much as I could in a short amount of time, and then just doing it. I hired a group of employees, and I wanted to hire people who had not worked in any other bookstores, so that we could kind of grow up through the neighborhood. And so it became very clear that a particular employee early on needed to be a book buyer. Like, that's what she was put here to do, and she is so good at it. Emily Summer, shout out to our book buyer for adult books. She, there are lots of resources in all kinds of publishing, magazines, online sources. We have sales reps that come through every 3 or 4 times because there's book seasons. And she just goes through all that information and picks out, she knows our customer and our customer base and our neighborhood so well that she knows what to get. And now doing it for 10 years, she was good at it just right out of the gate, but now it's really amazing. And maybe 3 years after we opened, we also hired a children's book buyer because
fantastic.
We have so many kids in the neighborhood, and we kind of keep devoting more and more space to kids' books, and which is great. So we have someone who focuses on kids and YA books as well.
Very cool. Well, I loved hearing about kind of the inner workings of East City Bookshop, and we're going to hear more about that, but we got to go to break. So when we come back, we'll talk more about this. Very excited. So everybody stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Beltway Book Club. Welcome back, everybody, to Living Local After Dark, Beltway Book Club edition. I am so excited to have my guest here today, Laurie Gillman. She's the owner of East City Bookshop. Laurie, it's been awesome to talk with you about such a great local bookshop that is East City. I want to talk about you and reading, because if you open a bookshop, I imagine you love to read. Is that correct?
Yes, definitely. That's a pretty important part of it.
Yes, absolutely. So I like to ask, what is your relationship with reading?
That is so interesting, especially now being in a world of people who read, many people who read a lot, because I always thought I was a fast reader and read a whole lot, and now I feel like I'm kind of average and maybe don't read that much compared to many people I know now. But for me, it kind of goes in phases. Like I sadly, when I am at a point in life that is maybe kind of stressful, looking back, I've noticed, like when I had 3 young kids,
that'll do it.
I couldn't tell you a book I read during a lot of those years. During the pandemic, I really struggled to read. I could only read really short books, and TV was more my comfort thing, which was surprising to me. But it's like, well, that's the way it is. We'll go with that. But it has always been for me, I mean, I feel like it's what lots of people say, but to be able to know that you can go into any number of worlds and, learn something, follow a story, have big emotions, kind of empathize. And I grew up in a very small town, kind of in the middle of nowhere in West Texas, and we didn't have a bookstore. We had a library, of course. But for me, that, getting the books from the library, and like I remember, reading maybe all of the Nancy Drew books that were available
classic,
then, and
yes.
just feeling like, this world of, the really old ones where she is in her roadster and has a bungalow, I'm like, what are these words?
Right. I want a bungalow too.
Exactly. So that, I think, for me was, really kind of took me out of that world and showed a bigger world, and that's what I like to do now. I kind of read all over the place. Probably mostly literary fiction, but I do read nonfiction. I read kind of all different kinds of literary fiction, and sometimes genre, but not as much as some of the people at the store. So it really is, kind of a comfort.
Absolutely. Do you have a favorite book?
I don't have a single favorite book.
Yeah, it's a tough question.
It's like having a favorite child. Yeah. And I feel like kind of at different times of life, you maybe have a book that means a lot to you right then. I've been thinking a lot about George Saunders' book, Lincoln and the Bardo, because he just has a new book out called Vigil, which in some ways covers some of the same ideas a little bit. But that book it came out right after opening the store, and it has stayed with me as far as a book that just kind of broke boundaries of fiction, and I keep thinking about and just sort of wondering how on earth someone comes up with something like that. So lately, that's one I've been thinking about a lot.
That is a fantastic book. Love his work, and what he has to say about writing is very just such great stuff as well.
Yes.
I want to talk about coming back to something we mentioned in the last segment, which is East City's book clubs. Yes, and book groups. So talk about what kind of book clubs you all have to offer.
We have a lot of book clubs, as you probably know. We have right now 14 or 15
Wow,
book
that
clubs.
is a lot.
It's a lot, I know. And we have ideas for more, but it's kind of like, okay, we do need to have some space left every month for author events, because we do a lot of author events as well. So if we have 2 weeks worth of book clubs, we need a couple weeks to have author events.
Yes.
But the book clubs have been very popular, as you can imagine, or you can see. And when we first opened, I thought, well, we have a bookstore, have to have a book club. So we had started out with a fiction book club, and, thinking, okay, is anyone going to show up? I don't know. Does anyone want to come to their bookstore for a book club? And a dozen people came then, and it just sort of took off from there. We slowly added them. A couple of them have been from customers approaching us about what they would like to do. Most of them are staff-led book clubs, and it ranges from, we have several different fiction book clubs. We have a couple of nonfiction book clubs. We have a reads and reels, book and movie. Oh, yeah,
book and movie.
Yeah,
very cool.
So they
Love
all
that.
read the book and then go to the movie and discuss that. You can imagine those are really good discussions.
Yeah.
We have 4 book clubs for kids. So the newest one we have is for around first grade, so they can start their book clubs early. And then we have a couple of kind of tween and earlier readers, and then we have a book club for teens as well. So it really does, we have romance, genre book clubs, all kinds of things, and they are very popular.
It sounds like you got something for everybody.
Yes.
Which I love. Well, Laurie, we got to go to break, but when we come back, I definitely want to talk about the author events and more. So
great.
Yes, absolutely. So everybody stay tuned. We will be right back with more Beltway Book Club. See you soon. Welcome back, everybody, to Living Local After Dark Beltway Book Club edition. So excited to be here with my guest, Laurie Gillman of East City Bookshop. Thank you so much for joining me again. I wanted to talk about, first of all, the dog wall. I don't want to forget about that before the end of the interview. You guys have a wall of dog photos at East City Bookshop. Tell me about it.
Yes, it started. First of all, we love the dog wall, and customers do, as you do. And it started because we had this odd little, what was a closet right by the front door, and we're like, well, we can't do much with this room. We put the flyers and stuff from the community in there, and it was kind of boring looking. So one day I just said, people love to bring their dogs in. We should just take pictures of them and put them on the wall. It's really like one night when it was slow, we were like, oh, let's do that. So we started. And, well, as you can see, it's really, 10 years ago we started this. It pretty quickly filled up the little room, and then it starts down the hallway to the bathroom. On our 5th anniversary, we actually took down all the dog pictures and put them into albums because we couldn't just get rid of them.
Yeah.
And some people whose dogs have passed on will still come and look at their pictures, which is very sweet.
Yeah.
And maybe their dog came when it was a little puppy.
Right.
So we do still have the photos. And we started over 5 years ago, and we're it's getting very full again. And I think it's a bookstore called Wonderland opened a couple of years ago in Bethesda. And they asked specifically, like, we really want to copy the dog wall. Is that okay? Like,
Right.
Of course, there should be dog walls everywhere.
Exactly. The more the merrier. Well, it's funny that you guys re-upped the dog wall after 5 years, because I visited East City Bookshop probably a month or so ago, and the dog wall is substantial. It's taken up pretty much the hallway to the bathroom.
Yes, it is very full. We're probably going to have to get more photo albums and, go through that again, or just start filling every wall of the shop.
I was going to say, why not? Why not? Well, I want to also talk to you about author events as well, because you guys have the book clubs, but then I went to East City recently to see an author. So talk about those.
Yes, author events are a really important part of, what independent bookstores do. And luckily, being in DC, we're not far from the world of publishing, so we do tend to get a lot of good author events, and enough that most bookstores in town have all kinds of author events. Yeah, you could probably pick any night and find a really great author event to go to somewhere in the city or the surrounding suburbs. So we have so many at this point that it kind of all blurs in my head.
I'm sure.
We have, smaller in-store events. So maybe a debut author or an author on a more esoteric subject. And generally we'll have a local, another author, sometimes a staff member, or just a book influencer will be in conversation with them. So we might have, things with 20 or 30 people in the audience. And then I think the event you went to was a much bigger in-store event, so that, the store can hold up to like 80 or 90 people in one configuration. So we have a lot of romance events that tend to bring a good crowd about that size. And then we sort of worked up over the years to much larger author events. About a year ago, we had John Green for Everything is Tuberculosis, and that was at the Capitol Turnaround, which is a somewhat new venue that's very close to us that holds 850 people.
Yeah.
So we can have, there's not now just one place in town that has the really, really big authors that draw big crowds. So we really have done that and everything in between. And it's really exciting to have those big events like the John Green event where, there just are all these people here for an author, and they're so excited, and it's really amazing. But I also love like a neighborhood. We have a number of authors, obviously, in D.C., but also that are right in our neighborhood. So they might be nationally known authors, but in the neighborhood. And those are my favorite kind of events to have, where it's like, oh, I know this person because our kids are about the same age.
Right.
And, we've been through all these things together. And also we're going to talk about their latest book, which is amazing. So all of them, I think, they have their audiences, and it's really fun to be able to offer those.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And we also have some community events, like we've had like some craft nights, and we're having kind of going along with our 10th anniversary celebration, we're having a local small business panel with store owners from the neighborhood talking about the retail stores they own and how to make those businesses work in this particular time in history. So we try to kind of, throw in some different kinds of things.
Yes, absolutely. And, as we slowly wrap up the interview, any events coming up that people can come to?
Well, a big one is Independent Bookstore Day,
Yes.
which is now I'm forgetting, the 24th.
End of April.
25th. It's the
Sometime
last
around
Saturday in
there.
April. I know,
Yeah.
I should know this by now. The last Saturday in April, and that is also a DC bookstore crawl. So there's passport, you can get stamps and get prizes, and that is a really fun day. I mean, people really come out for that. We'll have birthday cake, and we'll have special deals and all of those kinds of things to celebrate. We have, let's see, I haven't thought about May because of all the,
That's okay.
the anniversary celebrations.
We got to wrap up soon. But if people want to find East City Bookshop online or anything.
Yes, eastcitybookshop.com.
Amazing.
Our website, you can sign up for our e-newsletter, which will tell you all the events coming up. You can also follow us on social media. We're on Instagram, and that's our biggest one, and on TikTok. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Laurie, for coming on the show and talking about East City Bookshop.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And everybody, thank you so much for watching. We will see you next time on Living Local After Dark.